Welcome to the Deep Dive. This week, we're digging into the Maritime CEO Forum in Singapore. And the big takeaway, not exactly booming optimism, but more about the sheer complexity of just being a ship owner today. So our mission here is to give you a handle on what's really happening in shipping right now. We're looking at three huge pressures all hitting at once: tech, geopolitics, and the crazy cost of just following the rules. Let's start with digital, with AI.
Yeah, AI is definitely everywhere in maritime discussions now. It's not sci-fi anymore. You look at the World Economic Forum data globally, they predict a gain in jobs by 2030. But on the ships themselves, the roles are changing. Fewer traditional navigators, maybe, more data people ashore.
Right. And the big tech players, like Inmarsat, seem to be saying AI is mostly a bridge. It helps humans make better decisions, makes intelligence gathering easier, automates some compliance stuff. It's there to support the crew, not really replace their actual judgment.
And what's really striking is how fast executive priorities have flipped. Seriously, 2 years back, it was all ESG, sustainability. Now, 61% of senior maritime execs say AI personal development is their top priority.
Wow, 61%.
Yeah, which suggests maybe AI isn't the end goal itself, but it's become the tool they think they need to hit those compliance and sustainability targets we were just talking about.
Okay, but hang on. If AI is so critical, what about the people? You mentioned the changing roles, but the training standards, like STCW, they seem way behind, don't they? Are regulators keeping pace with this tech leap?
That's exactly the problem. They're lagging. And the risk is real. We need people who understand data, sure, but just throwing more and more data streams at crews, that leads to fatigue, cognitive overload, and that directly impacts situational awareness. It actually increases the risk of accidents, of incidents at sea. It's a serious human element concern.
That slow regulatory response on tech. It feels like a stark contrast to the speed of change in global politics, doesn't it? The whole environment feels so uncertain now, this polycrisis everyone talks about.
Definitely.
And you see it hitting the dry bulk market immediately. Trade inefficiencies pop up everywhere, like reluctance to send ships into the Atlantic because of instability risks.
And that instability, it means huge commercial risk. Sanctions, counterparty exposure, these are top of mind now. We're talking over 400 tankers out there in these sort of gray trades.
Gray trades, meaning?
Meaning they often operate outside the usual insurance tracking systems. Basically trying to sidestep compliance, which, creates this massive underlying risk for the entire legitimate market.
Right. And owners are clearly feeling that heat. One CEO literally said they spend a lot of time cleaning potential troubles before they arrive. That quote says it all, really.
It does.
Sanctions risk is now apparently as big a deal in negotiations as technical vetting used to be.
And that complexity, that risk, feeds right into the third pressure point. The sheer cost of doing business right, of compliance. I heard one owner mention they're spending something like $1 million a year just on compliance.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Just compliance. Wow.
Yeah. That fundamentally changes the economics of owning a ship.
And then you get this weird paradox, right? Charterers, the ones hiring the ships, they want the newest, the greenest, the absolute highest standard vessels.
Of course.
But are they willing to pay the rates needed to actually build those ships? Like $50,000 a day for a big new crude carrier, a VLCC? Apparently not.
Exactly. So what happens? Owners are forced to keep older ships running longer. If a vessel is well maintained, even if it's, say, 32 years old, it can still perform well. They simply can't justify gambling millions on a new build for 2029 delivery without knowing they can actually earn that money back.
Which brings us to decarbonization, too. The tech ideas are emerging. You hear about things like nuclear propulsion maybe being ready by 2032 from the Dutch, for instance.
Right, the pathways are being explored.
But the global regulations from the IMO, the framework needed to make it all work commercially. That seems to be lagging behind the tech potential again.
It is. So if you tie all these threads together, the AI disruption, the political mess, the crippling costs of compliance and future fuels, the big message coming out of Singapore seems to be about discipline. Durability?
Not speculative growth.
No, not right now. It seems leaders feel they absolutely have to focus on the basics. Managing risk, running efficiently, that's paramount.
Okay, a focus on discipline and durability. Makes sense given everything we've discussed. We pulled this analysis from the recent Maritime CEO Forum. And just for your diaries, the next Maritime CEO Forum takes place in the Monaco Yacht Club on October 28, while an enlarged event, Splash Singapore, designed to be Asia's largest gathering of ship owners, is set to make its debut at the Fairmont Hotel next September.